Oh,
it looks like they've got a new game up.
yeah, here we are with game two in the July 2023 Beginner Tack Tournament. And this is Evoshen versus Takwolf. We saw Evoshen win as black in game one, and now we're going to see if Evoshen can win as white in game two to move on to the finals. Otherwise, if Takwolf can win this game, they will split and they will have to do Blitz tiebreaker to see who moves on to the finals. And I am joined again in the commentary booth by Tones.
Hello, hello.
And Tones, he is really good. Currently ranked number four, played in the January of this year beginner tournament. Then the following month, and he stomped that beginner tournament, and then he played and barely lost in the finals in the intermediate open the following month, and then just barely lost the 7x7 tack open not too long ago. So number four ranked tournament player right now.
Doesn't mean you have to agree with my commentary. In fact, I highly suggest to anyone listening to this, if you find yourself looking at these moves and thinking, man, that's not what I would have played, I think you should disagree and you should find your own playing style.
For
Uh,
sure. All right, well, we see
looks like
opposite
they've started.
corners and Evotion going straight for center control. Now, we've seen a lot of these players who have played in like the 2021 TAC Open and stuff like that, where this mirrored opening was super popular. They still stick with that. Whereas a lot of the players nowadays go with this sort of Knights opening, which is a slightly off that center area and doesn't go for the center control. But this mirrored opening is what Evotion has been sticking to this whole time.
Yeah, and I think one of the big thing that's jumping out to me about this opening is that Black played the really early capstone, whereas White waited a little while. Although, as I'm saying that, White plays a capstone, Black makes a capture, and okay, all of a sudden, everything I said is out the window because it's a whole new game now.
Yeah, and now I'd say Black is in a really good spot. And I would not have played the flat there. I would have played it at C6,
Yeah, I would
100%
have gone
C6.
C6 as well. I agree. But in principle, very good spot.
Yeah, like White's capstone trapped behind Black's capstone. Oof, like that is a brutal spot to be in right now for White. Their capstone can't do anything, really. Like they're kind of stuck.
Yeah, right off the bat, this game is kind of defined by the placement of these capstones.
And that early capstone, super strong. Doesn't really matter who plays the early capstone. If you're playing that first capstone, often you can get a really, really good position and just come out on top specifically because of that. Which is why I've lately been a big proponent of White playing an early capstone. I feel like it is very strong and it gets them even farther ahead right at the beginning of the game. It's been fairly common for the past few years for Black to play the first capstone and sort of try and take back momentum. But if White drops that one first and it's in a good spot, you can really, really do some work there and put Black behind.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've been experimenting with the idea of just placing the capstone move one, after the
After the initial, yeah.
swap opening. But
That works
okay.
in that might work in sevens, 7x7 open. Like,
It is a bit more of an option in sevens because you have the extra capstone.
yeah. But I think playing it as your second move, I think is fine. So like you play your first like Knights opening or whatever, and then you play your next as a capstone. That might work really well.
Okay, so this is
Ooh,
crazy here.
hard
So
cap.
so Black could have played a flat at b6 to make a threat, but they're probably looking to move ahead and thinking if Black had played a flat at b6, then White could play b5 plus, moving the b5 flat up and making their own threat. So instead, Black played a wall, and then now White's doing this hard capstone, trying to uh, really force that threat through.
I think White should potentially still throw that cap right.
Yeah, this is a wild position.
It's tempting to just move the whole cap over to the right. like the
Yeah,
whole cap
I'll
stack,
I'll
just
admit I was thinking about that.
2b5 just like that.
Oh my gosh, and he did it.
Because you want to threaten that stack. You want to threaten it. Now, black could move that stack now, that c6 stack, the whole thing to the right onto d6, and be able to ultimately win the capture war on it. But,
Yeah, I think you never really want to be running away with a stack because you just end up incurring more and more liabilities in the
yeah,
long run.
black
But
instead
pretty
playing down
soon White's
below.
going to be able to jump up onto that stack and they can smash and make a road because of that
Yep.
hard capstone. So that's pretty strong. 30 seconds ago we were saying black is winning, but now white is I wouldn't say necessarily certainly winning, but they've got a decent position.
Yeah. And black's got that b6 wall to be able to come down and kind of interrupt things. Um,
Okay, see now we've got this capstone opposition happening again. The
yep.
capstones are adjacent to one another and they're
Oh, this is
blocking each
so
other from
close to like
the opposite
Tinue.
roads. But now it's in white's favor instead of black's favor. So white can. Are you thinking white places like a5?
Absolutely, white should have played a5 there. But instead going for the vertical. Oh, do you come left with e4 here? Or do you play down below at d1? No,
Oh,
he
I think you
moves
definitely
that.
do what. Yeah, I think you definitely do that move because now the capstone opposition is gone, and now black can jump up onto that d5 stack. Unless, oh my gosh, unless white does that.
But now black has a road.
Oh,
c4.
well, yeah, that kind of changes things, doesn't it?
So Evoshen was totally blind to that, was
Oh
thinking,
no.
I need to protect this stack. Didn't see the road threat. Just lost. Now
Oh no.
that is what I expected in game one out of a beginner tournament. Missing a threat like that, super common, and super common when you're looking at, oh, I need to defend against this thing that's going to be a really big problem in a move. But you didn't look at what's a problem right now. That is something that I have fallen for so many times. That has gotten in my head and messed me up so many times.
Yeah, and it just shows that, I mean, like, look, with game one, they proved that they know what they're doing, that they're strong players. It just means that even when you're at that level that you have a pretty good understanding of the game, he's still like the game can still end just because you missed a road.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've looked in at a lot of these games recently using the stats tool, and you can take a look at some of these tournament games. A lot of tournament games between top players even end in missed roads. Like, it's not just beginner players, it can be top five people who will miss a
Oh,
road.
100%.
And so when people are like, oh, but I still miss these threats sometimes and I don't see it, yeah, like top players will do the same thing less frequently, but they will totally miss those threats. It is not just a beginner thing. It is definitely everyone falls for those.
Yeah, and I think like, we talk a lot about these very nuanced strategy topics, should you place a flat here, should you place a flat there? But honestly, like if you want to get like way better at the game, just don't miss roads. It's just that easy. Just don't miss roads. I mean, how do you not miss roads?
That's
Clearly
the
nobody
hard
knows.
part.
If you can figure that out, tell me.
Yeah, let me
And
know about that. Cuz I may have not seen that road at first after he made that move. I was like, "Oh, but oh no, he's got a road."
yeah, yeah, me too. I was really excited about that other capstone move.
I remember one of my favorites and one of the first videos I ever put on my channel was a video of a a Chandrian tournament game between me and No Hat Coder, and I played. And this Chandrian tournament it was 7x7, and they, I played this move, and I was looking at this position. I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? La, la, la. And I was like, oh, this is really clever. That might be really smart. And then I played the move right away because I was thinking about it for a long time. And then I found this other move and I was like, why didn't I think of this at first? Clearly, this is the best move. Made the move. And No Hat looked at the move and was like, wow, that was a really good move. And then he was like, wait a minute, that gives me a road. And he just played a flat and won. But like we both saw it and saw, wow, that was a really good move. And it would have been if I didn't give up a road. And that's the exact same thing I feel like that happens so many times where
Classic.
you're like, oh, I get so blinded by the potential for this move that I miss seeing the easy win that it gives my opponent.
Yeah, yeah, you're thinking, you know, thinking 10 moves ahead when you should have been thinking one move ahead.
Absolutely. And then I have done this also, and this is a thing that I know you've done some commentary stuff, some self commentary videos.
Yeah,
This happens a lot where I'll be playing in a tournament and I will be talking about the move I'm going to make, and then I talk about the move that I'll make after my opponent does the obvious move, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm looking 2 moves ahead or something, and then by the time my opponent finally makes the move, I skip ahead to the move that I was just talking about,
yeah,
and then I lose immediately because I'm like, oh no, I was supposed to play the defense move first. Then he was going to play another move. Then I was going to play that move. That happened to me several times. One of the times I was really, really, really upset about it. I think I was playing against Nitzel, who you played in the Intermediate Open. I think I was playing
yeah.
against him. It was a long time ago. And I was just really ticked at myself for having done that. I'm like, you kidding me right now? I had the plan. I talked about it. Oh, that was
Yeah,
that
well,
was frustrating.
I had a similar experience in my the first game that I streamed in the 7x7 tournament, where I spent like a solid minute talking about how I don't remember what I was talking about, but how my opponent, like, I was like, oh man, they made a interesting move here. I got this plan where I can move here and here and here. And after like a solid minute of talking about my plan, I realized, oh, they just made attack threat, and I'm gonna lose unless I play this. And the I had the live chat on, and they were so restrained that nobody pointed out. They could all see that I was about to like miss attack threat, and bless them, nobody said anything.
That's always good.
Luckily
Okay.
for me, I did not record that one.
Yeah, luckily for you. Okay, so Evoshen has spoken up and said, "Hey, I need a few hours minimum to get back to play the tiebreaker." So they're not playing the tiebreaker right now. So that's it for right now. But that means that they have split their games and we'll need to play a Blitz tiebreaker, which I'm sure that Evoshen has done Blitz before, but I don't think Takwolf has had the opportunity to do Blitz before, so this will be new for them. But yeah, it's 3 minutes on the clock with 5 second increment, so it's a little tight on time, but can be a lot of fun. It stresses me out to no end, but a lot of people really like it. Anyway, that is all for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAC. Also, thank you to Tones for being my co-commentator.
Yeah, thank you. I'm always looking for an excuse to talk about tech.
And so am I, which is why I'm always in the Discord server and talking to people about TAC and sharing that with folks on there. Also, great way to play some asynchronous games right there in the Discord server. Find people to play with on playtac.com. Lots of great stuff there. So be sure to check that out. And until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.